Good morning. How we doing? CPI dropped at 8:30. Looking like we missed a move. Oh, usually when you get a big data candle like this, and we hit some type of midnight open, or it swings a low, or comes to something like that, right there is our play. That would have been nice. I wasn't on. I just sat down. That was a play right there. It's kind of obvious. Sorry, let me do that. I don't know how loud the volume is, so sorry if it's too loud. And good morning, Deborah, Ted, Charles, good morning. How you guys doing? It's very common, Deborah, to get orders not close out on news. I'm not going to lie. That can happen. Or when you do put in an order, let's say you wanted to close here, it'll close you here. The slippage is real. The slippage is like horrible. So let's see what's going on here. On a 5-minute perspective, this is a data low. This could be considered a low as well. I would like to see that be a low. We'll call that the data low high. We had that data high taken right there. Call that. And then we also have our previous day high taken right here. So I'm looking for a reversal potentially. We also are going to have an opening range gap. Where's price? Is price way up here? Yeah. Price is way up there. So we'll drop this opening range gap right here. It's a lot smaller than I'm one. It's going to be closer to like there. Somewhere around there. Make this a little bit lighter. How are you guys doing this morning? As far as why is that? There it is, open. Okay, let's see what happens. See if price wicks below this low and the mean threshold. Also want to see how it lands on the previous day high. If it's going to find support there, or if it's going to just melt right through it. I'm not going to take a trade off of that. Why does it slip? Brokers want to protect themselves. They don't encourage you to take trades off of news like that. So when there's high volatility, those orders can easily slip. So I don't trade. When I get the big wick, I don't hit exit. That's not the point. If you try to do that, you'll get lots of slippage. You got to let it work itself out. You need to be in the right direction. All right, so we have an opening gap range fill right off the open. Still getting set up here. It looks as if we still got the 80% off on Apex and $85 for the activation of a funded account. So if you use Apex, consider using the code DTJ. I like this reaction right here. I would love, man, I'm not going to play it, but this is a nice breaker. I mean, I'm not going to play off this volatility. That's just too much. Too much volatility. Actually, that's not a bad retracement. You could take a short right here after a big candle like that. That's not a bad idea. But you got a bigger breaker sitting right here as well. So you got breakers on both sides of the table here. We're not gonna, we want something that's more than 50-50 here. Okay, so do I got everything set up here? Okay, we're rocking and rolling. We're ready to go. There's that breaker that I'm referring to. I said I was not going to take it. We have a higher previous day high sitting right here. Did I get that anchored right? No, I didn't. So we got a previous day high sitting up here. Opening range gap in my mind's pretty much taken care of. I'm going to move that off right now. Midnight open is sitting down here. That would have been a beautiful play if you could have played that off. Nobody's going to play that off the data lows. But what would be nice is if we could come back all the way down and hit the data low and take that as a potential entry. Also, midnight 9:30 is right here. We're going to mark that on our charts. From 9:30, we're looking, why do I mark 9:30? I'm marking 9:30 in context to the power of 3 or AMD. So we look for accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So is this the manipulation? And then we have distribution higher? Or do we have manipulation, then distribution? Sometimes you can get two rounds of manipulation, especially on news days. That was a nice candle right here. It really was. I'm going to take a small short right here into this candle on my personal account right now. So I am short from right here. I'm going to see if we, probably right there, see if we want to find any resistance at this level and this level here. This is considered balanced. I want to see if we want to push into this level here, into the opening day gap sitting right here. There's that open day gap. I'm going to sell some contracts there or get rid of some. Holy cow. That's a lot of change. I'm just going to sell that because that was a lot more than I was expecting. Let me share my screen. I'll show you guys the executions, so you guys know that I'm not just pulling your leg. I don't like pulling legs. The only trade so far this morning sitting right there. Took my entry there at 18,861 and I sold here at 18,830. And then, yeah, so basically 31 handles I got in about 30 seconds. That's what I got. As soon as we ran into that opening range, new day opening gap, I sold that. So context-wise, why did I take that trade? One, we played off of this breaker and this breaker sitting right here. We have this small little breaker as well. We have 930 open price that we rejected heavily, 930, and we made a big displacement candle. Then we had a large wicky candle, a large candle retracement back into a balanced price range here, and on the other side of the market maker sell model right here. So I took that short into this level here. Why did I sell it here? One, it was 30 handles. I'm happy with it. Two, I don't know if we want to go all the way back down here yet. I'm not confident quite yet on a market maker sell model. So what I could have done, I could have sold 4 contracts. I took 5 total, and I could have held 1 for the remaining to see if it wants to continue the push lower. But I didn't. I mean, I ended up just selling it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing everything on the other screen, right? My bad, Charles. Let me say that again. Why did I take that trade that I took? A couple reasons. One, we hit the previous day high over here. We were playing above it. Okay, previous day high. We broke lower, wicked up into this level right here. This is a breaker. This is 930. Look how we reject the breaker and 930 and then have a big displacement right here. Okay. Here's a market maker potential sell model. This level here and this area should already be balanced. There's no reason for us to go back up there until we hit a level where it wants to target. In my mind, it's the new day opening gap right here. First time we're running into this level. So I take it on this retracement into this balanced price range here and over here. Balanced from here to here. Do you see how that's balanced? All balanced. We have buy side delivery. Now we have sell side delivery. So when we wick back up into it here, so when we go back up into the breaker and reject the breaker and the 930 opening price and get displacement, I took it assuming that this was going to be a bearish order block to deliver price lower, and my target really was just the 911 new day opening gap. Could we go all the way down to midnight open? I think so, but you're seeing the volatility that I'm seeing, guys. Hanging on to some of these trades is very, very hard. I'd rather take 30 handles of a push, which this looks like we could get some more right here, and then take that as my opportunity. So hopefully that explains kind of that entry that I pointed out there. This would have been another nice entry. I was just explaining my entry before. Why? One, we have a balanced price range. Two, we got the previous day high we rejected. And if we go down to the 30-second, I bet you there's a short entry right here. Not really. It's not very clean. So, see how we're going up and down, up and down. I think we have reason to go lower. Look at this as being a data low. I'm not sold on it, but I'll look for it to present an opportunity. See these candles? I want to be very careful on these candles. I want to see it reject right here. I'd like to see it reject. I'd like to see it reject this level here. At this point, I think I'm interested in something around 10 o'clock. If it's going to do this ranging back and forth till 10 o'clock, if we want to hit this breaker, the 930 price, this breaker again, probably less likely on this breaker here. It's a little, not as much structure. I like this 5-minute breaker better. If we zoom in on this 5-minute, you'll see this nice, it looks really nice on the 5-minute. Nice 5-minute breaker. I just have it tagged on this low down here. You could anchor it at the body right here. Actually, that looks better. Look, if I anchor that on the 5-minute body close right here, and you drag it over, look how it respects it on the 1-minute. So that's where I want to anchor it right now. I like that. So the thing about doing an inversion fair value gap here, they could work, absolutely, and I think it's on the right side. We're on the right side of the move. The only thing I don't like is we're not really sweeping liquidity. We didn't run this swing high or this swing high, so I'm less interested. I would rather to see a purge in liquidity, make people think we're going this way, and then aggressively take an inversion fair value gap to the downside. So I'm not as interested in something like this. And you can see an immediate, when you see an immediate retracement here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. Hit that like button for me, guys, if you appreciate the commentary that we're going through, explaining what I'm seeing, why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you appreciate that, I appreciate the like. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, see, I don't like the words here. How do I? So it looks like it's respecting it so far. You gotta understand, I bet you that's a giant fair value gap here. What is that? That's 20, that's 23 handles. So we did respect this level here that I marked out. I said I wanted to see it respect that. And for the most part it did. And not just this level, we're talking about the order block. This is a bullish order block that's being used on the other side of the chart right here. Look how it's respecting the consequent or the mean threshold of that order block. You see that? So I like that signature in price for price to move lower. It's a 5-minute fair value gap here. It's the last before we hit the midnight open and low. And then also, we got a better 2-minute here. 3-minute. Okay, I like this 3-minute. We'll play off of this 3-minute to these equal lows here. Okay. We'll see if price wants to. We'll see what price wants to do here. Got a minute and 46 seconds left on the 5-minute candle. That's kind of what I'm watching right now. I want to see if we're going to close below the 5-minute. That will give me confirmation for the 3-minute. If the 3-minute closes before the 5-minute, I won't be doing anything. Again, I would like to see this level respected. This order block, this 1-minute order block that was put right here. That's an OB. Bearish order block. I'm going to see that respected. That's on the 3-minute time frame. But if we drop down to the 1-minute, look, if we drop down to the 1-minute, it's still here in this form. Okay? It's still there. We just now broke below it. We could even, on the 1-minute, you could anchor it to this level here if you want. It's you pick the one that just seems most sense to you, right? But right now, order flow is very, very respecting these levels. We just got to be careful because we're also in a discount PD array of the 5-minute and this 3-minute, okay? And look where the 3-minute closes, right on the last 1-minute fair value gap. I like that. So I am interested in that 3-minute. We're seeing order flow being respected, following. We got midnight open and the data lows here. Okay. I'm going to drop down to the 1-minute, but the 1-minute and 3-minute closing are at the same time. So this level is still valid when this 30-second candle close. 30-second timer runs to 0. My first level I'm looking at is this swing low here. Stops would be moved to break even there, or if you want to be uber conservative, there. Which I don't like this level. It's too close. And it doesn't look like we're getting the close anyway. Five-minute also closed in the upper portion of the 5-minute fair value gap. Okay? So this could be wicks. This could just be wicks at this point. This is why we want to wait for closes, because the close tells us direction. The wicks do the destruction. So it's important and it can cause us to miss moves, but it's okay. I still really want this 5-minute to close. And I want to see it coincide with this 3-minute fair value gap. Those are important to me because we already closed in this 5-minute once, meaning we could just wick lower and then start moving the other direction. That is a real possibility that we need to consider. And we got 10 minutes, 9 minutes till the top of the hour. So we are in a macro. So we're just looking and waiting for the clear opportunity. We don't want to try to make something out of nothing. We don't want to try to push something or force something that's not quite there. Look how we aren't even closing in the 3 minute. We closed above, and let's see where this candle closes. We have low resistance liquidity all right here up to this level. That could be. Let's take those off for now. Take that off for now. Data, we don't need that. We're gonna leave this over here for now. OB, that seems relevant right now. 50 seconds left. Got a minute left on the 5 minute. I don't know how I feel. Sometimes the 5 minute, you'll just miss opportunities if you wait for the 5 minute. So I may consider the 3 minute on its own. The data low right here, we're calling this a data low based on this 3 minute candle. Got 22 seconds left on this, guys. Wait for the close on the 3 minute here. We don't want to take it before. Because it can do just that. Move lower, wick higher. Move lower, then wick back up in it. This is why we wait. 50 seconds left on the 5 minute. And we may miss the opportunity for the 3 minute. I don't think there was a better one on the 2 minute. There is one here on the 2 minute. Small one here. It's also respecting that level. Sometimes picking between the 1, 2, and 3 minute can be difficult. You can watch the 1 minute. If it closes, then you jump to the 2 minute and see how it looks if you want. But I mean, I'm thinking we still got this daily volume imbalance sitting right here. And we got this daily inversion fair value gap. I think we can go high. I think we can move higher, guys. Let me give you context here. And okay, so the 5 minute just closed. Yeah, I want to jump to the daily here real quick. I want to give higher time frame context. I think this could happen. All right, so this is a daily fair value gap we've used and seen multiple times. We broke through it, and technically we should find resistance here and move lower from this being treated as an inversion gap. But we also have, I'm going to move this out of the way. We also have this daily fair value gap right here that was also violated to the upside. And we could find support here. Look how it's respecting the consequent encroachment on the daily right here. And we could see a move back higher. This is what I think could happen and what I'm really watching at this moment. And why I'm like, we got to wait for this 3 minute. We got to wait for the 5 minute because I think this is a really sensitive area. We just got to be careful. We did just have a 1 minute inversion. I'm not going to take it because this isn't enough displacement to the upside for me to feel confident on something like that. So Deborah, the answer is yes, this is difficult right now. There's a lot of different factors and nothing's obvious. And your safest answer is when nothing's obvious is to sit out. Don't trade. Don't try to make something happen. That's where I have made, oh, look at that reaction. Look at that reaction to that inversion right there. Look at that beautiful reaction. That's beautiful. Note this volume imbalance. This could be an opportunity to get back in right there. Wick, boom, right there. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. This is hands off. I'm waiting. I mean, and you look at the size of these candles. These are enormous, guys. That's 24 handles right there. 24 handles. So we're going to let it do its thing. We're going to wait for some displacement. I don't know how I feel about the 3 minutes still. I'm kind of over it. Got 2 minutes left on that. Let's go back to the 5 minute over here. We do have bearish order flow. That's the thing. So on a higher time frame context, I see higher prices, but lower time frame, I'm seeing bearish price action. So I kind of want to wait. This is, to me, this has been the key fair value gap so far. And I'm not putting a bunch of weight on this data low, especially on the 1 minute time frame. I usually like to look at the 1 minute on those data lows and highs, and that data low landed right at midnight open, and then the next candle wicked lower. So yes, it's close enough to be considered a data low, but we're still going to watch this. Let's see. 1 minute left on the 3 minute. 1 minute closes here. That's the first close below the 1 minute fair value gap. So let's see how that reacts. Let's see if it chops around here a little bit. And see if it waits for another 50 seconds. So 50 seconds it closes on the 3 minute time frame. And this may be one for a lighter size if you want to consider this, because we are in discount of this range and we have reason to potentially move higher on a higher time frame in higher time frame context. So in other words, it's kind of 50-50, but I see opportunity and you're just going to have to make your own assessment. 20 seconds here. This makes it easier for me. It does not close below on the 3 minute. I'm okay. I'll wait. That makes it easier for me. Here's a 3 minute close right there. Now it still could go without us because we're waiting for this 3 minute, and that's okay. There'll be another move. We don't have to make this move work. The 1 minute gave it to us. It did close above the 1 minute. Did it give it on the 2 minute? Let's look. The 2 minute has not closed below either. So the 1 minute was violated. The 2 and 3 minute haven't given us the move yet, and it looks like it's gone. Our opportunity for that is gone. All right, so we're now looking for the next opportunity. This is what we thought we saw here is now gone. Here's midnight open. Look at the reaction to midnight, okay? Now, if we look at midnight in the context of power of 3 and we see higher prices, this would have been our entry, our manipulation. And now we look for a distribution from midnight, okay? We see 930. We want to buy below 930. So anywhere in here can be our opportunity to go long, especially, depending on how we continue to react from this midnight opening price, okay? Heck of a reaction there. Heck of a reaction. Let's see if that showed anywhere else. All right, so no close on the 32nd. There's your first close, but we grab the high. Nothing there. We have low resistance liquidity right here. Balanced price range sitting here. Wicked below. So no model. No model on my end, so we're not missing something because we just didn't see it. There's just not a model here. I trade two models, inversion and breakers. This can be considered a breaker, but I like a little more displacement than what I'm seeing. If we're looking at a bullish breaker here, we closed below the body. I would rather have closed up here than came back down and bounced off that. So nothing here yet. Days like this are difficult because 1, we got good price action. 2, we got lots of volatility. And 3, the trade setups aren't obvious right now. And it takes a lot of understanding order flow to really get some context and know what we need to be waiting for. So, hey, and just remember, cash is a position. Cash is a position. It's a position where you're not losing anything. Yes, it's a position you're not making anything, but also just, we're in the cash preservation space. Our job is to protect our money, right? To earn, to make a profit, but to protect what we got. And I'm not seeing anything obvious. I do, at this point, I like the idea of moving higher. I like the idea of moving higher. Doesn't mean we'll get it. I think that's what I want to wait for. I'm liking this 5-minute candle here. Look at this 5-minute big wicky candle. Let's look on the 15-minute here. 15-minute closes in 10 minutes, so not as helpful. Let's look at the hourly that just closed. So the hourly was this candle right here. This could easily become an hourly order block to move higher. That came into this breaker. Low, high, lower, low, braked higher, came back down into this hourly order block so we could see higher prices. That supports our thesis. Okay? I'm going long right here. I just like the way it looks. I'm going to have a tight stop loss here. Watching this level here. Very volatile. I'm looking for my opportunity to put a break even in here. Seeing if it's going to give it to me. I'm going off of this breaker, a wick down into this breaker. That's kind of the context that I'm looking at, but I got to be very careful here. Because we could just drop. I'm not going to let it go lower than that. This is the breaker bar. That's why I have this here. Actually, I could probably put it just a little bit lower. I'll put it there at the bottom of that tick, which also is this breaker. Let's see if I'm on the right side. If it stops me out, I'll take the loss. All right, there's my loss. That was about 15 handles, 17 handles. No, it's closer to 80. We were just about at 20 handles. And it's probably going to go higher. That's okay. I was willing to take that trade. Like, the idea behind it was this breaker was the displacement higher, and the wick, the run back into that breaker there. Wanted to see if it was going to push any higher. Didn't get it. Thanks, Adzi. Busy moving houses. I don't know what you mean. I'm helping people sell houses, yeah. Watching this level here. This will be a nice trade short, in my opinion, if it gives it to us. Oh, you moved houses. Got it. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, it respected this fair value gap. This is a balanced price range. Here's an inversion right here. I like this sweep. I'll take one more try right here. I will take this. I'll take that out. If I lose that trade, I'm done for the day. If it gives it to me. Okay, no opportunity on the 1 minute. I was hoping it was just going to give it to me right straight away for a big move higher. I'm going to get rid of this 3 minute. I'm not interested in that anymore. Am I on the wrong side? I think I need to answer that question. I'm willing to consider both at the moment. I have reason for lower and I have reason for higher. I just need the right context to set this up for me. The mustache, I don't know how long it's going to stay. Trying to get my wife to like it. Here's there. I'm taking that. Let's see if we can go to these data lows down here. Midnight open. Once we hit this low, I'm moving my stop to break even. I'm hovering. I'm still holding this right now. So it's not going to stop me out. I'm hovering. I'm holding it. There's a wick into this inversion, this fair value gap here. I will now move it as soon as we break below this level now. All right, stops to break even. If it stops me out, it stops me out. We just wicked equal lows. I'm not going to risk any more opportunities or take a loss. It needs to run lower. All right, so there's my stop at break even. That saves me a trade. No loss, no win there on that one. I like this displacement below this fair value gap. That's why I took it. I just not willing to, with all the volatility, oh, I like that too. I like that. Here's going to be our drop right here. Look how we're just locked at that midnight opening price. Look at that. This is the drop right here. This is where I think we're having the drop right here. That's my guess. I'm not in it, so I mean it's easy for me to just say it and not actually be in it. This is nasty, folks. I would sit out. I'd sit out. This is all highly, highly manipulated. We're wicking up. I'll wait another hour, 45 minutes for a better move. There's the test of this inversion fair value gap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times with no bodies in it. Just a note. There we go. All right, we should hit this data low here. Let's see what we do with the 9. We made equal lows now with the data low. There's that. Yeah. That's what I thought was going to happen, folks. The volatility here is just insane. I'm not going to mess around with that. Holy macaroni. Look at that. Holy macaroni. Let's see. My entry was what? It was about here. I got stopped out on that. If I let that run, look at that, 60 handles in 5 minutes. So context was right. I did my higher time frame. Context I was potentially incorrect as far as finding some support on this daily inversion fair value gap. Now, if we come back up here and close above this, then it would work by the end of the day. But obviously, we're not trying to take trades based off of that. Yeah, look at that. The new week opening gap here is 812, 812 high and low right here, and the previous day low is sitting down there as well. So we got the previous day low and high. It looks like we potentially could run both of them. And if we run both of them, the second one that we run is the direction of the move. Obviously, you wick it up here. You manipulation, then the distribution, how low we go. If you're running both of them, it's usually a bigger move. Look at this candle right. Sorry, that's not on the screen. When you run both high and low of a previous day, it can be a big move. Look at this candle right here. We wick the high first. There's the low, and then look how much further we went. Okay. Here's another one right here. We wick the high, we sweep the highs, and then run through the lows. That's where we run both of the candles. Here's another one right here. We sweep the lows. We sweep the lows here, and then we run the highs. Big candle. Here's one that was really indecisive. We sweep the low first, we sweep the high, and then we close back lower. So these are just examples that you guys can look at on if we're going to run this level here, it could be a bigger move lower. Good morning, Jordy. I agree. He's been faithful to me. And I just got in short, so there's that. Yeah, I got in short here too, but I moved my stop to break even because of the high volatility and got stopped out, and then I missed this move. So I was short on this play, but I just wasn't. I had a previous loss. Where did I have that loss? I took a long here, thinking that we could see a low, high, lower, low, displacement higher, could see a breakthrough higher, and we didn't. So I got stopped out for about 18 handles. Not pretty. That's okay. I made that much. I basically lost my profit from yesterday. I took 2 trades yesterday, 1 on each account, and made about 20 handles on each. 20 handles on my performance accounts, and then only 10 handles on my cash account. That was yesterday. Now at this point, I kind of would want to see it come back up to the data lows or somewhere around the new day opening gap. Reference that, find resistance here, and then move lower. So what I see, what is very common, unless we just continue to melt, which I'm not taking that, is we'll find some level and then we'll do this for like an hour and a half. And then it hits this level and then it just collapses. That's common. That happens. So these could all be fake runs lower unless we're really trying to get to the previous day low fast. That could be the case, but here's our inversion right there. Let's see if it runs the low right now. To be honest, I'm not interested in it. We got a 5-minute fair value gap sitting right here. Let's see how it lines up. Have we closed below it? Yeah, no. Yeah, we closed above it. Okay. Now, due to my first loss, I'm only willing to take one more trade on my performance accounts to see if I can see if that's just a one-off, or if I have the market wrong, then I need to call it a day. I would be done for the week too after that, man. Way to go. Nice job. Congrats. See how everything has been fake slower? This is what I'm talking about. I don't know. We don't know when it's going to do it. I'd rather see it. If it's going to do it and not move higher, I would rather see it come up into this 1 minute. come up into this 5-minute, and then do it. Okay, so there's the wick into the 1 minute. What happens? Here's a breaker. Do you really want to take a breaker and think that it's just going to go straight to the moon right here? Rarely would that happen. Sometimes it does. It's risky play. Meaning most of the times I don't see it. It's just not like one big candle, 2 or 3 big candles to fill this imbalance. If it does that, it means we're running higher. Okay? So don't confuse the two. If we get a chippity chop, 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 we're probably dropping. So 3 ways. You have to read price action, but here's the scenarios. If we get this, we're probably doing this. Okay? Option 1. Option 2. Ooh, nice breaker right there. See what happens. If we do this, we can continue higher, and usually after this, the next move, higher or lower, will be a big one. So it can go higher. It also could continue lower, okay, if we get one of these, okay? And that's option 2 and option 3. That's really how I would see it. Anything, if it drops now without me, I mean, you could take this inversion right here to target the sweep of liquidity and still potentially be profitable from it. If it breaks lower, and still just take a short trade and not try to hold it, because it may not want to go all the way down there. It may not want to continue the move is what I'm trying to say. And I'm 50-50 on it. Here's a nice breaker, and it's respected it 3 times. You could... I can't. It's probably going to give a nice push right here. I'll miss that. I was thinking of going long right here. There's 11 handles. That'll be 20 handles. Yeah, I'll wait. There's a volume imbalance down here. It's 10:26. I'm gonna keep my hands off until we get to the macro time. So about 10:45, I think that's when I'm gonna allow myself to take something else. I'm gonna wait till the top of the hour. And with that said, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom. But I've made too many mistakes trying to pick directions when I'm not in a macro time, especially when we got big movement like this. Because we could continue lower, we could retrace. So I'll just wait till the macro time and see if we get anything nice and pretty. I'll be right back. All right, so it looks like we did get a further push lower. And that inversion fair value gap did work for that move. This would be the target. Watching this order block here, if we find resistance here. Okay, violating an inversion right here for a move right there. Can't take it. We got a target down here. Yeah, not going to take something like that. Absolutely could work, but just lower probability. Worked out nicely. Came into this low here. An overlapping fair value gap. See it overlapping right there? Overlapping with those swing lows. Here's another breaker. These are what you got to be careful about. Why would we turn here? If we do turn here and we get a move, I'm still thinking we want to run down lower. So I got to be careful on these retracements and not get caught up into wanting to take a long when it's obvious price wants to continue lower. I'm on the 30-second. Oh, holy cow. What does 1 minute look like? I didn't realize I've been sitting on the 30-second the whole time, guys. Sorry. Actually, 30-second looked better. Would like this to hold until the macro time, preferably. See the big puppies behind me? Google swaps out videos or pictures on there all the time. I think I'm taking that. Oh, I missed it. Not very good right there. Horrible. Horrible entry. I'm just believing we're pushing lower right here. That's what I'm counting on. Gonna put a stop here to move to break even once we get a big push lower. I'm not gonna risk it. I'll get out there. We just wicked right below it by a tick, and I'm not going to mess around with that. That's the mechanical rules. Now, if I had a proper entry on that momentum, I wouldn't have been stopped out. Hypothetically, when I clicked the button, I clicked the button right around here. So I still would have been stopped out because we just swept this low barely. You see how we swept it? We swept that low right there. So stop needs to be moved to break even as a mechanical stop loss, just to protect on any major wicks higher. And these are the days that I'd rather get stopped out 10 times to catch that one big move. I don't want to mess, and obviously I have to be more careful since my last trade was a loss. All right, so we had the right idea. Move was going to be lower. We hit our, this would definitely be an area to take profit, the top side of the new week opening gap. Now, the reason why I keep telling people that I want to learn to hold longer is because the first move that I played, first trade that I took, was based off of this 930 opening price, a breaker here and a breaker here, and that was the beginning of this entire move. I'm noticing in my own trading that I'm recognizing the origins of these big moves. And so I need to build the confidence that, hey, you're in the origin of a big move. You need to hold through all of this, which is very difficult and emotionally draining. But the payoff is huge. The payoff can be absolutely gigantic. I got in somewhere around here. I got in on this retracement. That's right. We could have taken this. I could have got in up here, but I didn't because I just took a trade. But even from there to there, that's 240 handles. So this is why holding for these bigger moves is important, because the best setups are usually the origins of your moves. And we identified the origin of this entire move. We just took 30 handles and got out. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you develop as a trader, in my mind, I'm ready to hit these bigger trades and then not mess around with the breaker that's sitting right in here and thinking we're going to go long, and then I get stopped out for 20 handles. Right? I could have avoided that by just holding the original move longer, waiting, expecting it hit midnight open or these data lows, and hold through that. This is where learning to hold comes in handy. Where do you take an entry here? I mean, there is none. You could have took this breaker, but are you going to take a breaker? Are you going to take this breaker? Heck no. I'm not. It worked out beautifully, but we're already moved 200 handles. No, we probably already moved 300 handles from the top of this move. I'm not going to try to do it based off of a breaker. Yeah, 330 handles. There's our previous day low. And look at the time, 9:43, 10:43. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, then plays 10 to 20 contracts. For real. I will get there. No doubt in my mind. Just might be a while. Now, at this point, this is where you could get an extended retracement. Why? Because we hit the previous day low. Still could go lower, but when we look at this whole move, we'll do it from the 9:30 opening price, the wick up into that price level. Where's equilibrium? Equilibrium is right around here. So if I'm looking for a retracement move, I want to look for that entry below this level here and try to find an entry for that. This doesn't work if we're in a trending we're in a trend day with lower, which we absolutely could be. This is our last really I haven't been a fan of how he's been interacting with people on Twitter lately, Ted, in regards to ICT. I wish there was a little more class instead of the pandering back and forth. I know he does it for fun. I know he does it for the engagement, but I don't like it. He's still a man that will never change. I like Trump as a president, but I would never tell my kids to be like Trump. Never. It's kind of like one of those things, Did I just give my political beliefs here on live stream? Look at that. It's too smooth, but it's nice. No wicks on these two candles. You could probably go long right here and expect to get that. I was really thinking about doing that. I'm like, that's not gonna leave it like that. It will run that. Reason why I tend to drop down to these lower time frames to like the 30-second is when you got a lot of volatility and movements, sometimes you get so much movement, a 1 minute time frame is just too much. 60 seconds is too much time for time to pass, where you just don't get the structure I like to look at compared to this. Like the structure here is beautiful compared to this 1 minute time frame where it's more wiki. Yeah, it tells the same story, but it's just not as, it doesn't have the same structure that I personally like to see for indications in where price is going to go. And that could easily change if I just, obviously looked at the wicks and considered this consequent encroachment of the wick and say, oh, well, we didn't get above that. That's an indication of price moving lower. Here's another midpoint of the wick. Look, we tag it and then we move lower. Here's another wick. We tag it and move lower. So there's multiple ways that you can look at price. It's just what you're comfortable with and familiar with. 950 or 1050, sorry. The hourly is about to close here. It's a giant displacing candle lower. But look how aggressive we were to get to the previous day low. Look how intentional we were. And then let's see what happens now that we've hit this previous day low. Do we just continue? If that's the case, then we need to identify our next target. And we got equal lows that are right there. Could we run Monday's low? Wow. Yeah. I mean, we're talking 1,000 points. No, 600 points in a day. Yeah, I've seen the most I've seen in a day that I can recall is about 600 to 700 handles in a single day. But that's a tall order. You'd have to break it down to different swing lows, and here's the equal lows that I'm looking at. This is 11 o'clock macro low that was created here. I need it. I know, though. The same with the hourly. Just looks like a giant black candle. I don't use red and green candles. Main reason is red, I think it triggers people too much. It triggered me. Thinking that, oh, it's negative, it's bad, it's going down. And, whether you're trying to make money or losing money, I just decided to make it black candles. I think if I'm going to look for a bullish move, I need to see a 5, but ideally a 15-minute candle create a change in state of delivery. 5 or 15 minute. That's what I'd like to see. That would give me confidence that we're now moving in the other direction. Until then, I need to look at these as retracements and continuations lower, if I'm going to consider something. Or if you do take a long, you understand that you're potentially taking a trade against the narrative of price action. And it's pretty clear that it's picked lower prices as the direction. You bet. Absolutely. Ted, you can absolutely do that. You got a 15-minute fair value gap right there. We'll see what it closes like. It's a small one. More than likely, there's going to be a better 5-minute. It's my guess. Drop down to the 5 minutes, see what's there. Yeah, the 5 minutes better. There's 2 5 minutes. This is the breaker though. Look at the breaker, how it's within that 5-minute fair value gap. I like that a lot. And if we were to go down in the 1-minute time frame, all the way over here, there's an overlapping breaker that's right on the consequent encroachment of the 5-minute. Boom, boom, boom. So that's the breaker. Decent reaction from it, from its first touch. My change in state of delivery will be from this 5-minute. And your 15-minute is going to be around the same place here in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is the change in state of delivery on the 5-minute. You can see that right there. It's also the high of this 15-minute, or the opening price of this 15-minute. So I'm cool with just leaving the 5-minute for now and just looking at the close of the 15-minute candle. All right, so it's about 11 o'clock. We're going to get some type of reaction here. $39. Are we going to get a change in state of delivery right away? Looks like it, folks. Bam, just like that. Got a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Now we got to look at, all right, we hit the breaker 5-minute, 15-minute. We have reason for higher prices. Your first opportunity for an entry is right when we initially hit back this 5-minute, the opening price of the 5-minute. Now, I'm not sure if I would want to do that because it's a big candle. We got a low. You have a volume imbalance sitting right there. Small little volume imbalance. But if we get a wick and another wick down into here, I might be interested in grabbing along a discount, taking that as a discount wick, and see if it wants to move higher. In other words, you could also play this 1-minute fair value gap right here. Breaker that overlaps in there. This is also a breaker right here. I like this, I do. If we get this closed in one, if we close this, I'm watching the midpoint of this wick right now. Okay, so we broke through that. We'll probably, good chance we'll hit this low. $30 is also here. See where this 1-minute closes. Are we going to close lower, or are we still going to be in line with this breaker over here? Don't give me that big retracement. Come on. Go ahead and hit me. Tie me out. If it's going to go there, it's probably going to go a little bit higher. So I'll get ready to drop this if I have to. I'm gonna hold this. I'm not gonna take it out unless it hits me. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, gonna take that there. Huge move. Made all my money back plus some on that trade. Holy macaronis. So it went from down $400 to up to $200. So that was a 30 handle trade. Price action has not been the easiest today, but you see that big trade right there, guys? Do you understand what happened? I know I got in the trade and you guys saw me get in the trade. I didn't say I'm getting in a trade, but you guys saw it. I'm happy that I just got my money back and plus some. So I understand what I'm looking at right here, folks. I understand that I was in a freaking perfect spot to get 70 handles. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I'll learn from it. Boy, that feels good. Break even trade here. You can see the carrots that are right here, right on that line. Break even trade. Got in here after we wicked lower for the second time into this fair value gap. After we made a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Right here. Filling this fair value gap, leaving no fair value gap behind. Also in line with this breaker right here. Why am I picking this one? Because of this fair value gap right here. We go lower. We wick up into a fair value gap and move down. Breaker. We displace and have a market structure shift at this high right here. That is a market structure shift right there. A wicker close above that. And then now we look at the breaker or a fair value gap that's in line with it. And I didn't want to take it on the first stab because we've seen those suckers drop like rocks before, right? We've seen them just drop without us. But when we had two fair value gaps or two wicks into the fair value gap in line with the breaker, I will take a chance having my stops underneath there. To me, this was the best setup that I could find with what we've gotten. And look what happened there, folks. And oh my gosh, that makes me so disappointed on when I took my sell. Ha! It's embarrassing. Look at this. Look at the sell on that. Oh my gosh, 612. Look at the close of this candle, 646. I missed 34 handles within the candle that I closed on. Embarrassing. Honestly, I was emotional because I wanted to get my loss back. and I wanted to walk away with some profits. I did that. But holy macaronis. If I would have gotten in here, which I did, these are the what ifs that you probably shouldn't be playing in your mind. 63 handles I could have had in 3 minutes. Timing's right. Setup is right. Reading price action is right. This is an emotional problem that I have to deal with. An emotional and understanding what the target is. You guys even saw me. I just want to, not to my credit, but just like to encourage myself. You guys saw me drag my limit order to right here. This wick high. You saw me drag it. But I manually moved it and I closed it. It's a I'm down, I want to walk away with money. Ooh, look how I'm up 30 handles. Let's close it type trade. I don't want to lose this emotion, which everybody has them. Everybody has to deal with them. And you learn from them. I'm just glad that I learned making some money. I'll learn this way any day. I would rather learn from missing out on a move and getting a smaller profit than learning from losses. If I had to pick between the two. Though that's my choice. My choice is teach me through the missing of a trade. I'll learn that way. Teach me, coach. Go easy on me. When did this happen? Let's see what time. Look what time it happened. This is what, get this. This is it. In addition to the 5-minute change in state of delivery, the market structure shift, the breaker, the filling of the fair value gap, and closing above it inside the breaker, look at the time right there. 11:01. Macro, baby. Macro season. I feel like I'm a little low on my. There we go. Sometimes I feel too low, too high. This could easily continue right here. Be careful though. Be careful. Targeting that swing high right there. We're inside of a breaker right here. Breaker, fair value gap, boom. Okay, so be careful. But time is everything. This is why these didn't work out. What time was it? 10:38. 10:38. Did I take another one? Okay, here we go. This one was another break-even trade right here. What time was it? 10:10. Decent setup. We had this idea before. It was going to drop short. We missed this one because we moved our stop to break-even. Okay. What was this one? Well, this was my loss. This was my one loss right here. I looked at this as my breaker. I thought we were going to break through this, bounce here, and move higher. That's what I wanted. So, you know what I think I'm going to do? You guys get to see me make a video here right now. We're going to do a trade review for the day where I go over the executions. I'm going to play that. So, if you guys are watching this now, you don't have to watch it later when I post this video, but we're going to do that. Look at the equal highs at 10:30. Yeah, equal highs, boom. Absolutely. Market maker, buy model, consolidation, distribution 1, distribution 2, smart money reversal, accumulation 1, target will be right here. Or on a bigger context, we got a much bigger move that it could run. So a lot of opportunities. I'm going to take the win and leave. We had a lot of price action today. So 1 loss, 1 win, 2 break-even trades. All right, so I'm going to do a quick review here. Okay. Hey guys, Tyler here. In this video, we're going to be doing a trade review from CPI that happened this morning. I'm going to show you the trades that I took this morning. I had 1 loss, 1 win, and 2 break-even trades. We're going to go over what we saw, why we had some losses, and how we got our win. So we're going to go over that right now. Let's check it out. So we had our news happen here at 8:30, right? Our first draw on liquidity was going to be lower, and we had these data lows and data highs, right? Now, I wasn't 100% convinced that we were going to hit these data lows, and the main reason was because we had new midnight opening price right here. When we wicked this midnight opening price, and we didn't continue lower, and we respected this wick right here, and we started moving higher, it showed me this level right here. This is a breaker. So I actually went long when price came down into this breaker. You can see the caret symbol right there. And I wanted to see higher prices, thinking that we could see it go higher. Well, obviously it didn't. It went lower and it stopped me out. It was about a 17 handle loss. That was my first trade. Now I allow myself to take 3 trades. If my first trade is lost, if I have a second loss, I'm done for the day. My next trade was right here. Look at the carets, where the caret is right here. I went short based on a 30-second inversion fair value gap, I believe it was, right here. You can see it. Okay. We closed below it and wicked back up into it. Look at where I took this entry. I took the entry right here. Now, because of the volatility, I wanted to see lower prices, but I did not want to take another loss because I wanted to stay in the game. You have to follow your rules, and whatever parameters you set for yourself, follow them. It is more important than being profitable because you'll become profitable out of setting these rules. So my thought was, I don't want to take a loss on this because I don't want to have 2 losses and have to be done for the day. So I prematurely moved my stop to break even, and you can see where I got stopped out. Break even, my entry was here, my stop was right here. Break even trade. Now, normally on a trade like this, when I go short from an inversion standpoint, from an inversion model, I close the trade as soon as we close above this fair value gap. So you can see the fair value gap there, right here. We did not close above it. In fact, we didn't even close in it. And once I got stopped out and I saw the rest of this, I'm like, you can watch the stream. I'm like, we're going to drop. This is the move here. I said it right after we saw this wick and we closed back here. I'm like, this is the move. This is the move. It's coming. It's coming. And then boom, we see this huge drop. So miss that opportunity here. We continue lower. This is a 5-minute fair value gap that we found some support in. Again, I at this point decided I'm not going to take a trade until 10:45, between 10:45 and 11. I made that decision. At the same time, I marked out this inversion fair value gap, and I said most likely if we inverse this, we have a chance of moving lower if we can break through this 5-minute fair value gap. Sure enough, that's exactly what happens. I wasn't in front of the charts. I was in the restroom, and I came back and I saw this move. I'm like, yep, there it is. Okay, we're going to keep going lower. Well, it looks like we could probably have the previous day low as our target. So here I went short. Why did I go short here? Simple. We have an inversion fair value gap again. So the 2 break-even trades I get, look at the caret. Look at the carrot, break even trade. Again, this trade is a valid trade. As we can, I hate when it does that. Why you give me such a giant thing? What is this? Why you give me 60 handles here? Come on, folks. Let's do this. I need to change some setting here. Normally on a inversion type setup, your stop isn't until it hits break even. So my entry was somewhere around here, right? Is that where my entry was? Nope, it was right here. Okay, so there's my entry. My entry was here. Your stop should be if we close above that level. But again, I had a loss and I didn't want to take a second one, and I wanted an opportunity to stay in the game. Mistake number 2. Because mistake number 1 was taking that breaker on when we were going short. Mistake number 2 was moving my stop to break even too early on this trade right here. On this trade right here, when it didn't break, it would have only been an 11 handle stop loss. That was doable. This here is a 12 handle stop loss. Again, a trade I should have not gotten out of simply because my rules are stay in the trade until we close above this. It was in line with order flow, but what did I do? I moved my stop to break even when I saw this displacing candle, hoping that we were just going to melt right here. But we consolidate, stay below. Nobody goes into the inversion fair value gap again at all. Mistake number 3. By moving my stop to break even, I should have kept it here and waited for the move, and that would have given me a 33 handle move. So mistake number 3, missed 33 handle move. Mistake number 2 would have given me, easily targeting this low, a 96 handle move. Followed the rules, would have gave it to me. Would have gave it to me beautifully. Okay, at this point in time, I said I didn't want to trade until after 10:45. So 10:45 happens right around here. We're on the 30-second chart, by the way, because the 30-second structure just looked way better than the 1 minute. So that's why I was on the 30-second. So we have this happen. We see this 5-minute and 15-minute fair value gaps show up, and a breaker on, what day was it? It's way over here. You can do your own look. On Monday, September 9th, you'll see a breaker, 5-minute and a 15-minute fair value gap. Do your own research on that, on why we put these here. But we see and find support here, and then you can see it on the stream. I said I'm not going to go long until we have this happen right here, a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Let's jump to the 5-minute and take a look at that right here. Here is our 5-minute low, our 5-minute candle lower, hitting the previous day price and the next candle running into the 5-minute and 15-minute fair value gap. I said I did not want to go long unless this level was hit, was closed above. Boom. By 10:59, we have closed above this 5-minute change in state of delivery. Let's go back to the 1 minute and let's identify the 11:59 candle. It's right here. The 11:59 closed above this 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. The second thing I noticed was this market structure shift. This is a swing high to the low. On the other side of this swing high is a fair value gap. Now, when you have a swing high with a fair value gap, with lower prices, that gives you this level right here. This is a breaker. This is a breaker. We got our low, high, lower low. As soon as we break higher. Not only do we have a change in state of delivery, but we have this market structure shift. And now I'm looking for price to come back into this breaker or a fair value gap surrounding or around that breaker. Well, guess what? There's only one fair value gap sitting right here. We wick into it one times. I don't take it. I'm like, okay, I like this. Big displacing candle, scary candle the other direction. It's now respecting this fair value gap. Candle number 2, wicks lower, closes here. Look where I take the entry. It was about 3 or 4 seconds before this candle closed. It closes, and I'm like, I'm willing to take the risk on this trade because of all of the overlapping confluences that I'm seeing. Market structure shift, change in state of delivery, breaker, fair value gap. We have previous day low sitting over here. We have a 15-minute, 5-minute, and a breaker that price has run into down here. There is so much evidence that if I don't take this trade, I'm now becoming fearful of losing money. I take this trade. My goal in my mind was I want to make what I lost, 20 handles, and I want to get a little bit more. Now, this is mistake number 4. Right now, that wick, right, that little carrot symbol right there looks, wow, Tyler, you got it down here and got it way up here. You targeted this high. Man, you crushed it. Look, you are a stud. Man, I'm going to follow you. You're the best ever. You're the man. I'm going to do everything you do. Well, look at this. Look at where I closed that trade. So embarrassing right there. So embarrassing. I targeted this high right here, and I wanted 30 handles. As soon as I got my handles, I'm like, I'm out. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to run. I let emotions decide what I wanted to do. If you go back and you look at the live stream, I actually set my limit order right here. I set my limit order right here, as in price looks like it could easily go here. Yet I move it and close my trade way down there. However, we had the setup, we had the overlapping confluences. This is an issue of allowing emotion to get in and affect my decisions. Really, honestly, what I could have done is move my stop to break even, take off some size. I only took 1 contract, so this is where I give myself a little bit of a break. If I had 2 contracts, I would have taken 1 contract off here, moved my stop to break even, and targeted this high, and I would have got it in 30 seconds. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a break because I'm only trading 1 mini contract. If I was doing micros, I could have executed this way, way, way better. But when you're doing a single contract, it's a buy, sell. There's no take profits, partial profits at all. But definitely areas that I can learn from today's trading. So went 1 for 2 break-even trades. Great day in trading, great price action. It was a difficult day to read price action. It required you to be patient, and you had opportunities to make money. I had multiple opportunities. I just missed them. I mean, big day. A lot of lessons to be learned in today's trading. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. If you like content like this, hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. And as I'm even recording this, I'm on a live stream and I have people watching on my live stream watching me record this video. So if you want to see this kind of stuff live every day of the week starting around 9:20 Eastern Standard Time, we'd love to have you on the live stream. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Look at that. Look at that. What a day. Now that I made that video, you heard that. You guys are here live. Is there the benefit of me doing that while you're here is, one, if you have questions on what I talked about that I wasn't able to address in that recap, you guys can ask here. So if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what questions you have in regards to the trades we took today, the setups, what we're seeing in price action. Hopefully I was pretty clear. But man, this one right here, definitely a little bummed on my ability to execute. Definitely a little bummed on my ability to execute there. I'm giving myself a little bit of a break simply because I only took one contract. It would have been way easier if I had multiple contracts, but great price movement here today. So I think unless there's questions, I'll give about a minute or two for any questions you guys have. But I'm probably going to call it a day. I'm glad, Ted. I'm glad. Charles, thank you. I appreciate it. Joe, we did end up hitting those equal highs sitting right here, and we wicked that swing high. So nice movement in price. All right, Ted, have a blessed day, man. We'll see you guys. We'll be back. Today's what? Wednesday? We'll be back Thursday and Friday. We got news. We got PPI tomorrow, so we should see another great day of trading. Hopefully, we get a better data wick, a data low, data high that we can trade. Those are fun to trade. Those are aggressive trades. So we'll see if we can get that. And again, I apologize about yesterday. I really wanted to do a PM stream, but I ended up, my wife had an appointment scheduled for my son. His stomach has been bothering him for quite a while, so I decided to go to that appointment with my son. Let's see what's going on with his stomach. Just upset stomach at random times, so we're just getting it checked out. So if you want to keep him in your prayers, I'd greatly appreciate that as well. So other than that, guys, I'm going to sign off. God bless you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. If you do use Apex, use the code DTJ. No extra cost. It's a free way to support me for something you may already be using if you use Apex. So check out that code there. Other than that, we'll be on tomorrow morning at 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. We will see you guys. God bless. Take care.